What's up, Freebirds? We are in the great northern part of Michigan today, and we are going out on a ride on a 2015 Harley Davidson Softail Breakout. Much different from the 1992 FXR today. This is actually my father's, and I rode it a handful of times and actually want to do a good review and a good ride on it. And we are doing a special guest ride from Miss Freebird joining us today. We are riding to the Copper Kettle in Houghton Lake, Michigan, grabbing ourselves some whiskey. So we're going to take you guys on a ride with there, and let's go for a ride. Ready to hop on, Kayla? Say hi to everyone. All right, guys, we are off on the 2015 Softail Breakout. Now, this is not to be mistaken from the 2020 or 2018. You know, these Breakouts are very raked out from what's compared to the other Harleys. The rake on this is a staggering 35-degree rake on here. Comes with a big 21-inch wheel from the factory in the back and a 240 rear end tire, which is sits wrapped around a 18-inch rim on there. Big differences on this bike, which consider it a Breakout. The frame is still the same. It's the older Softail. If you don't know how an old Softail rides, it has two shocks underneath the frame that run, and they go up and down like this, and that's what considered a Softail. It gives it a hardtail look, but a Softail ride. And this is stock with the 103 motor on it. My father pretty much kept it pretty much stock for the most part right now. Just put on a new seat, which is actually quite comfortable. It's a Mustang seat for the driver here and the passenger side. And as you can see below too, drag bars as well. This comes stock out with. They're actually quite comfortable. The way that this bike is slung, like it's got like a lower aggressive style to it, and it's actually quite comfortable. When I said rake, so the 35-degree rake, which is one of the greater rakes that you can get on Harleys, the shallower the rake, so farther in the rake towards the front forks to the frame, the more aggressive the turning is on the bike. Farther out, it's going to make it bigger swooping turns, or as far as when you go and try to corner, you have to work your way out of the turn more. Once you get used to it, it's pretty much the same. When you go from either like my FXR to this bike, it's quite different. You can't just quickly turn sometimes. You have to think before you really go into the corner how you want to pull out of it. But once you get it down, it's not that bad. This is Harley's version, at least one of their last surviving chopper style from the factory. It gives you the bigger wheel, raked out front end, big fat tire in the rear. Like, this is one of their only bikes that they did recently in the last handful of years where it's a chopper compared to the other bikes. If you never rode a chopper, you know, go rent a Breakout. It kind of gives you that chance to see what it's like to actually ride a raked out bike. And the trees, the front forks on the front as well, it's a wider front end, so they have a narrow glide, which is the FXR sits on. Most of the Sportster front ends sit on. Then you go into, you know, the normal height or the width, something like the Dynas have, and then the wide glide, or the wide front end, which is this here. She's by no means, I'd say, still not slow. I mean, it performs pretty well for the way it looks. So in the intro, I talked about the northern part of Michigan. Michigan, if you haven't heard before, has many, many lakes. We're pretty well known for our freshwater lakes here, other than the obvious big water lakes. It's beautiful up here. It's definitely a spot, if you've never been to Michigan, that you gotta come and check out. The lakes are crystal clear. They're not mucky or anything up here. It's beautiful for riding weather, beautiful to see the beaches and everything. So it's a spot where a lot of us Metro Detroiters like to go and ride or come up to, because it's just way more relaxed back up here. There's just a lot to do. You can off-road up here, you can go fishing, there's hunting, you can run cabins, you can tent. Way of life is just a tad bit slower than down in the city here. So that's what we call up north. I don't know if other people have that. Is that a thing for other states you guys have out there? Call it going up north. I always thought that term when I was little was a universal, that everyone just talks about that. Whether they're downstate, somewhere else, like, I don't know, like Florida or something, they say that up north. So when we say that, we refer to here. Michigan obviously has a UP as well, which gets even more woodsy. Beautiful roads, way more curvy roads up here than they are downstate. And where we're going, I'm pretty excited for it. It's never been there yet. And when it comes to distilleries in Michigan, we have a lot that are in generally the Detroit area. And then from there, there's really not much. You got to kind of travel either to the west side of Grand Rapids where they have a handful. And then there's this random one here that's kind of up north in the middle of nowhere, which is cool. And I don't know if they've been around for a while or not. I've never tried it out. And of course, Miss Freebird on the back here riding with us. It's one of our favorite times before we were even married, and met a lot of our dates was motorcycle rides. It's relaxing. It kind of makes everything an adventure. The same restaurant you could go to all the time in your car. I feel like when you hop on and you're going to like a date like this, it just feels like you're on vacation. All right, we're gonna do a little travel montage until we get there. We made it, the Copper Kettle. Let's go try some whiskeys. Spicy. So we finished up at the Copper Kettle Distillery. We jumped over to the Limberlost for a little quick snack lunch with Miss Freebird here. And she hasn't quite given us the final details of how much more comfortable this bike is than the FXR. We're gonna get our ride home in, and then she's gonna give us the final synopsis if this is more comfortable than the FXR. We're cruising on back. Now, my final thoughts on the Softail here. Would I make this a daily rider? To be honest, no. There's too much effort, I feel like you got to put into the corners. The big raked front end really cause it to make you work for the corners, especially in fast maneuvers. When you got to come in, or you brake instantly, or if you forgot, oh crap, I need to turn the other way, or quickly turn around, you have to put effort into making sure you get this bike to lean. The FXR, if I put it to one side or the other, it instantly wants to go to that corner. You got it with the 35-degree rake. You have to push yourself into the corner, or you have to lean yourself into the corner. Now, when you get used to that, the lead angle on this is not very stout. You're also looking at a 20, I think it's 23 to 25-degree angle, depending on what side, maybe 25 on your passenger side or your left-hand side here, and 23 on the exhaust side. But as far as a chopper straight from Harley, it's a cool bike. Looks great, it's comfortable. The drag bars, when I first saw this type of bike, I thought it was going to be extremely uncomfortable after maybe a 20-minute ride. But the way that the seat position sits, it's pretty comfortable. I like it. It's a good bike in general. If you're looking for this style bike, you're not going to travel 600 miles, I guess, if you want to, but essentially, it's not really set up for that. When you see the city and the hustle of traffic and nonstop from the day to day, and you finally get to ride up here, man, it is bliss. It is so nice. All right. Freshly back from a 2-hour ride with Miss Freebird. Was it better than the FXR? Oh, skunked. Better known on the FXR than the Softail. Still a great ride, guys. As always, if you made it all the way through, I would greatly appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button, tap that like, press that notification, leave a comment below and tell me what you think. And as always, stay free, and I'll catch you guys later.